Sometimes you bake cake with different ingredients. It's not just flour and the 5 grains. You put in rice flour, you put in different flours that is not from the 5 grains. What makes hamaitzi hamazonis is only from the 5 grains, right? Wheat, rice, spelt, oats, yeah. So if it has other flour in there, so you're mixing wheat flour or spelt flour, you also put in rice or other things, bean, whatever. There's different corn flour that don't make it mezainis hamaitzi. So what determines if it's going to be a mezainis? We're focusing now on maitzi. I'm sorry, on mezainis. We're focusing now on mezainis. Hamaitzi is a separate discussion. Mezainis. So if you would just put in regular flour, let's say it would be mezainis, because the ingredients, what makes something mezainis, you probably know, the majority is fruit juice, eggs, right? So that makes mezainis. But you didn't just put in wheat flour, you put in other types of flour, corn flour, bean, I know all the names, all the in the health food store, right? You see breads that have many different flours that is not wheat or spelt, right? The one of those breads. So the way it works like this: if you have a ratio of 1 to 6, not more than 1 to 6, 1 to 5, I'm sorry, 1 to 5 means 5. Let's say it's corn flour, okay? I mean it's other flours that people use, but let's say corn flour, okay? A ratio of 5 amounts of corn flour to 1 amount of wheat flour, let's say. Okay, so there's 5 times as much as the other flour, like the wheat flour. So then, but not more. If it's more than 5 to 1, then that becomes an issue. So if it's up to 5 times as much as the flour, right? Then the bracha will be mezainis, and the after bracha will be ala michya. The regular, in other words, you eat the regular amount, whatever you usually eat for after bracha, whatever the amount is. If it's up to 5 to 1, not more than 5 to 1, so the wheat flour or the spelt flour, whatever, is a 1/6 of the other flours that you put in, not more than a 6, right? I mean, not less than a 6, not more, higher number, lesser percentage, right? Not less. It's a 6, not a 7. You get it? It can't be, has to have at least, it could be a 5th, a 4th. Then everything is regular, which means you say an after bro, you eat a piece of whatever the amount is, eat a kazais, and you say an after bro. Get it? You understood? But if it's more than, it's less, meaning it's a higher, it's a 7th, it's the 6 times as much corn flour like the wheat flour, let's say, then you're getting into machloikas. Getting to machloikas. Now the bracha will be mezainis anyways. The bracha will be mezainis. Still mezainis, because as long as you're putting the flour for taste, the bracha is mezainis. That's the rule by mezainis. Anytime you have a mixture of, now I'm going to just go off a second to something else and go back to this. The general rule is whenever you have wheat flour mixed with any ingredients, how do you determine it's mezainis? Let's say you have licorice, right? Licorice, I understand the Twizzlers, they have flour in there. You know that? Yeah, they put flour in there. Yeah. Yeah. So how do you determine if it's, a lot of times you make, do you know that in fish, they also put a little flour to help the fish? They put a little bit of flour, yeah, a little bit, to hold it together. If it's only to hold together, nothing. Then we don't care about it. If it's there to give a taste, then it becomes mezainis. That's the general rule in general. Yeah, we're going to get back to what we're discussing. Want to understand the cloud, want to understand, when you have flour in there, if it's there for taste, then the bracha is mezainis. I'll give you another example. Somebody came up with Shavuos. Shavuos, they have cheesecake, right? So there's some companies make a cheesecake with a very thin crust. And then on top of it is all the cheese, the whole mixture of all the stuff, you know, the hard cheese and the farmer cheese, whatever they mix together, with the sugar and everything. But there's no flour in it, only on the bottom is a thin crust. So what's the bracha on it? So if the crust is there to give a taste, you also question what's the purpose? If the purpose of the crust on the bottom is for taste, then it's mezainis. The same mezainis on the whole thing. Now it's one bracha. Now this is different than the chocolate-covered almond. Chocolate-covered almond, we said, is two brachas. Okay, now we're on something else. This cheesecake that has a crust on the bottom, and the crust is there for the taste, the same as anus on the cheesecake. How many brachas do we say on the cheesecake? One bracha. What did we say about the ice cream cone? Right? The sugar cone with ice cream. We say two brachas, right? On the ice cream. It's separate things. Cheesecake, we said, if the crust is there for taste, then we say one bracha is. Why? What's the difference? Anyone? What's the difference between the ice cream on the cone and the cheesecake? What's the difference in taste? What's the difference in halacha? Why over here it's two brachas? Why here it's one bracha? Can you think of a reason? No. What? The ice cream and cone is two separate things, and the cheesecake is became one.
Yeah.
Unity. How did that happen? Because it was baked together. It was baked together. If it wasn't baked together, let's say, there's certain things you can do. You take sometimes people take these what is it called? These graham crackers, and then make something out of it. The graham crackers are already baked. Then they put it together, they mush it together, and with some marshmallow, and they put it together. That's different. I don't want to go into it, it's a little more complicated. But the point is the cheesecake is baked together, becomes one bracha because it's one thing. Okay, but then in general, the licorice, Twizzlers, there's flour in it. We understand this. The purpose is to hold it together. So it's shahakam. But if the purpose was to give taste, it's mezainis. So every time you have flour, which makes mezainis, mixed into the ingredients, it's not simple. So ask, what's the bracha? You have to know what's the purpose. You find out from the one who baked it, what's the purpose? Why they put it in? Is it to give a taste, or is it to hold it together? That's what it depends on. Got it? Now going back to the pastry, the cake, the dessert, whatever you bake the mezainis roll, whatever you bake, and it has regular flour that makes mezainis, and it also has corn flour. I mean, I don't think there's other ones. There's other ones that they use these days, but let's say corn flour. Okay, so if this ratio is 5-to-1. Right? In the same ratio 5-to-1, yep, 5-to-1, then it's the I said it goes up to no, it's 5-to-1, 6, but I said 5-to-1. If it goes more than 5-to-1, it means it's a 6. So the flour is a 6. Yeah, that's what it said. It's a 6, but it's 5-to-1. Don't get confused. The flour, meaning the wheat flour, the spelt, whatever it is a 6 from the other flours. That means 5-to-1. It's the same thing. Don't get confused. Then it's a 5th. It's a 6th. Get it? But if it's less, if it goes less, so the ratio is, let's say, 7-to-1, the flour is only a 6th, then it becomes problematic. What do you mean problematic? Then it becomes questionable, not for the bracha mezainis. The bracha is still going to be mezainis, because that's like kind of a compensation of taste. If it's there for taste, it's there for taste. Obviously, it's for taste. So the bracha is mezainis. But when it comes to the after bracha, it becomes questionable what's the after bracha. One opinion says alamichya, it's mezainis, it's alamichya. The other opinion says no, burying the nefashos. So what do? You don't eat it. Or you eat something else that's mezainis, and something else that's for sure burn the fascists. So like this, you could say, Alamichna and burn the fascists without a doubt.
What was the case?
In what case, if there's less flour than one, in other words, if the ratio is up to 1 to 5, then it's regular. The regular deal. I mean, you eat a kazais from it, then you say Alamichna. It's like even though there's 5 times less flour than a regular piece of cake, but it doesn't matter. It becomes like regular mazonis. The salamich on it, like the same way you do for a regular piece of cake, regular mazonis. But if there's less flour than that, meaning the ratio changes from 1 to 5 to 1 to 6. Now you have 6 times. You have 6 times from the flour that's not in the 5 grains against the flour that is in the 5 grains. So you have less flour, right? Then it becomes questionable if it's like regular cake, you say al-michi on it, or do you say burning fashions? Yeah, you understand? Clear? That's by results. Now, when it comes to hamaitzi and hamaitzi, this I find this relevant because I had questions over the years when it came to hamaitzi. People bake bread, and they want to make the bread healthier, and they put in other ingredients other than regular flour. They put in whatever different types of flours that they mix together, and they want it to be hamaitzi. It's different. It's not the same rules. The rules work as follows. Whereas when it comes to the mezainis, we say ratio 1 to 5, mezainis or michya, the regular deal. When it comes to here, even if you do 1 to 5, it's going to be questionable. And even if it's less, if it's 1 to 3, according to one opinion, yes, it's a mitzvah. But to bench, you have to eat the full amount. You get it? In other words, whatever kazayis is, whatever the amount of kazayis is, for kazayis, it's about a half an ounce, let's say, it's about, or more. So now, if you put in other ingredients, the ratio is, let's say, 1 to 3, right? You have 3 times the amount of other ingredients. So now you have to eat 3 times more. So whatever the amount of kazayis is, if a kazayis, let's say, a half an ounce, now you have to eat 2 ounces. Because you have to, one opinion says, you have to eat the full amount of flour. You have to eat a kazayis, right? Because the size of an olive. Now, it's not totally flour. Instead of flour, you put in other ingredients in there. The ratio of 1 to 3. So you have 3 times the amount of other flours in there. So you have to eat another 3 times the amount. 4 times. Another 3 times. You get it? It's 1 to 3. Ratio is 1 to 3. So a quarter of it, let's say, is the regular flour. So now you only have a quarter of the amount of the flour. Quarter, again, you only get a quarter. You have to eat another 3 times the amount. So if the kazayis, let's say, is a half an ounce, let's say it's about that. To say, to bench, you will have to eat, well, for washing with the filter dye is different, right? 2 out, whatever, but for benching, you will need 2 ounces to bench. Because one opinion says if you eat the full amount of flour. If you put in less than that amount, if you less, then it's even a bigger issue. And then it's still going to be a leitzi. But when it comes to benching, one opinion, listen to this. One opinion is going to say, you sell a michya. In other words, if you put less than the ratio of 1 to 5, right? We're talking about the ratio of 1, I gave you down 1 to 4, 1 to 3, just to use as an example. But up to 1 to 5, to cover all opinions, you have to eat the full amount. But if there's less flour than that, it's, let's say 1 to 6, then it doesn't even help. Okay, I'll eat the full amount. Right? I mean, no, it doesn't help. One opinion says it's going to be ala michya. So you're saying hamaitzi, you wash it, and then you're saying Al Michya on it. And one opinion says he has a doubt about it. In other words, he's doubting it, that could be it's actually actually I'm not sure what the doubt is. One opinion has a doubt, I believe. I'm not sure if the doubt is very fascist or benching. I'm pretty sure the doubt is pretty very fascist, but it's such a small amount of flour in there. No, I'm sorry, no. The doubt is going to be if you bench. Because why would it be very fascist? Even by my mission, no. So, okay, just sum it up. If you put in less than ratio 1 to 5, less flour, then according to one opinion, you've got it's still a mitzvah, but benching one opinion said it's al michya. Then another opinion comes and says he has a doubt, he's not sure. Could be that it's actually you can bench. I'm not sure. I'm still thinking back and forth with the data. I think it's about brain infections actually, because it's such a small amount. Why would it be? I think the doubt is about brain infections. Whatever the case is, there's a doubt over here. There's a doubt over here, and then, in other words, if you're going to put it less than 1 to 5, less flour, then then it becomes problematic, and then the best thing to do is just eat it during the meal. Okay. Next, let's discuss now about if you're eating and you leave your place. I think that's what we should discuss. Say a bracha and you leave your place, leave one place, then you leave somewhere else. You didn't have it in mind. Anyone has any idea about these halachos? Anyone ever hear something like someone told you, oh, you left the place, you came, you went there, you came back, never mind, a new bracha, the same bracha. What do you know about this? Anyone knows anything you want to share?
Yeah, about like today, if I've got my water hair, I'll say bracha. But if I go like the next part, or like something like if I move to do it, I have to say it again. If I don't say, oh, like I would say bracha.
Okay, so there are different. So it depends on what it is. If it's a mitzi, or if it's a michya. A michya would also referring to our geffen, our eggs, the special foods of Eretz Israel, or if it's foods that the bracha after bracha is very nefashis. We're going to discuss now something that's simple, that's relatively simple, and that is very nefashis. The bracha, so we're going to discuss only foods that after bracha is very nefashis, which covers a lot of food. Very nefashis. So besides bread, we're not discussing bread, we're not discussing cake, we're not discussing fruits of Eretz Israel, we're not discussing wine. Just all other foods, very nefashis. Now, you say a bracha in one room, you say a bracha here, and then you leave the building, and now you want to continue eating and drinking outside, or you want to come back inside. You had intention, you didn't have intention, it doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a difference. You did have intention, you didn't have intention, you left the building, you came back, you didn't come back, you went to another building, you have to say the bracha. That is exclusively if you left the building. We're not discussing inside the same building is different. Discussing that you left the building.
So if I made coffee and I go on the street, like at what point do I make a new bracha?
Now, if you're walking outside and you're drinking a cup of coffee, you say a bracha when you're outside and you're walking, you drink it. Then you turn the corner. Now you lost sight of your original place. So as long as you don't lose sight, you walk, say a bracha, you're walking, and you're walking, you never lost sight of the place you said the bracha. What does it mean you didn't lose sight? You can't see the place you said the bracha, because if you said the bracha there and you walk, you don't have eyes in the back of your head. But that's called you did not lose sight. Not losing sight means that you could see. You're in a place that you could see. So the bracha is still valid. When you turn the corner, you lose sight, you say the bracha. Then you continue walking. You turn the corner again, you say another bracha. Now, what the clarify what I'm saying is, I'm not suggesting that that's what you do. I'm saying, halachically, if that's what happens, you are required to say a bracha. Is that proper? No, it's not proper to put yourself in a situation where you have to keep on saying new brachas. It's not a proper thing. Besides, not really a proper thing to walk and eat, walk and drink. Not proper. Proper thing is to sit when you eat and drink. Yes, when you do drinking, it's not proper. It's not. Well, it says that it's, proper way how you act. You don't act like people out there. You do everything different. Walk with eating. Even especially eating, even drinking, it's not. What's the mean? Even what? Even what? That it's proper? It's not proper.
Right. Yeah. It's like I feel like it's very respectful to like walk and like water down.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying food is definitely not proper, and water could be one is different, especially the person is whether you drink. It's different. But generally, it's not really not the ideal situation. Sort of like
You wouldn't, right?
what?
You wouldn't. It's water.
Sit down and drink it. It's almost like a borderline. If it's in very hot, and I feel I need to, and in a place where there's a little more private, not so many people around. You go to the side and take a drink. I mean, it's not ideal. I feel like I would avoid such a thing.
What about?
I can look it up more. I mean, eating for sure, it said, and drinking. I can tell you. If I look it up, I can give you a more precise answer. But eating for sure is not proper. To walk and eat. It says someone who walks and eats is comparable to a what?
Dog.
How did you know?
Okay, I heard this before.
Oh, you heard it before, yeah. Comparable to a dog. That it says about eating. So drinking, I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely not ideal situation. Person needs to. Okay, doing it for a reason. You have to getting dehydrated, you're walking, and you feel you need to walk, you're running, exercise. It's different, Yeah.
What about the advice?
Biking?
Yeah, you can water, fine.
Oh, to drink water when you're biking.
Yeah.
It could be it's different. It's not really, it's not really a proper thing to do. The person needs to, they need to. It's necessary. It's not necessary, it should be avoided. But again, but keep in mind, but then there's the bracha issue. But then keep in mind the bracha issue. If you're biking and you're drinking while you're biking, and then you turn the corner and you want to continue drinking, it's another bracha. If you won't say it in the first place. Yeah.
But what about inside the building?
Okay, we're gonna get to that. So you say a bracha in the building, out of the building, and then you go into the building, or you say a bracha in the building, go out of the building. It's for sure a new bracha, and it doesn't make a difference. You had it in mind, it doesn't make a difference. In the building, and you make a bracha here, and you go into the next room, obviously you're coming back. Then, if you had it in mind, then you go. You had in mind means that you had in mind when you said the bracha, you're going to continue drinking the next room, or you had in mind that you're going to leave and come back. Now, if this is your practice, this is your custom that you drink water and you're always walking around all the rooms, then it means you had it in mind. That's what you always think. But that's all in the same building. So that's for bare nefashis. That's pretty much for bare nefashis what it is. Yeah. Anyway, the details of what if you left, here's something interesting. You left the building, you said if you leave the building, it's the same in bracha, right? Okay. You're downstairs by the door, yeah? You speak to Mrs. Cohen. And about ready to leave, finally finish the conversation, and while you stand with her, you said a bracha on your foot, you stand right by the door. And then you walk out the door. Now you're outside. Say the bracha. As soon as you walk out, you realize, oh my, I'm saying the bracha. Yes, you have to say the bracha. Anyway, it says the Kirkiyah, the slugs are fucking Shasika, no? The gate about the gate around the roof used to be quiet, so we're gonna be cautious. No, so according to what we discussed till now, what does it seem like the halacha is? It said if you leave the building, you say your bracha. I'll give you an example. What did you think according to what we discussed? You have to have some thoughts. Again, this like this, like if you say a bracha here and you walk outside, you have to say a new bracha.
Yes, yeah.
Now I'll give you a specific example. You're standing by the door downstairs, speaking to Mrs. Cohen, and you can't, when you have a coffee or anything, you can't wait. You say bracha on your coffee. You're standing right by the door. You finish the conversation, you walk out the door. As soon as you walk out, you're like, oh, you say the bracha now, I want to drink my coffee. What's the bracha?
You don't think so.
What?
They are just about to leave. They have the intent.
Oh, does intention help from in the building to outside the building? Intention doesn't help. To say the bracha? We have another.
But you just left.
Could someone be a little, or let's see something like, tell me something, a new idea.
Take it out.
You walked out the building, yeah.
Or
Okay, you like, like I told you the other day also, you get it out and say, you close, you have to get onto the highway, you know. Right, go keep on going, yeah.
I don't know. Once you left the building, you can see.
Huh?
Oh.
You left the building, but you didn't lose sight of your place. So even though you left the building, but if you never lost sight, lost sight means that, doesn't mean you have to walk backwards. You could always, you didn't lose sight. You're walking in a place that you could see. So if you didn't lose sight, the bracha is still in effect. It could be before you turn the corner because you left the building. The place, that was when you're walking that, you make a bracha on the sidewalk and you walk down, then when you turn the street, then you do the bracha inside downstairs and you walk out. Now, unfortunately, all the sight is good, but then when you turn, it was sight. Now, here's something interesting. If you cross over, now, I mean, yeah, it's a little, it's different because it's a big street, so it's not even practical to talk about it because you're going to lose sight. Let's say you're on the school would be not on Eastern Park, it would be on Union Street, okay? Now, the same exact scenario, or President Street, whatever, yeah, same thing. You walk out of the door, by the door, look at bracha, the same situation you did in the door, instead of bracha, you walk out, and you go inside of the place. I know practically because the way the door goes like this, but let's say you walk out of the door and you don't lose sight, and you walk out and you cross the street and you have more sight of the place you said the bracha. Over there it's different because you crossed over a reshus harabim, a public domain, that will break up the bracha because you crossed over a street where a lot of people walk through. So even though you didn't lose sight, it's still you're still going to lose the bracha.
Like here, at what point like if you cross over.
Right, or the same thing here to the parkway, right, yeah, we'll leave the same.
Even
yeah,
if the
you're
one
right.
close, because there's the big road.
Yeah, you're right, I could have used this also, you walk over to the, whatever it's called, the parkway, yeah. It'll be the same thing,
As soon as you cross them.
right, because you crossed over a place where a lot of people pass through, so that breaks up the block too. You want to answer me? But you didn't, oh. That because anything didn't pass it, but you're saying if you pass through it, if you want to see, even if you go to the street, and you get already, that's what you're saying.
No,
Or you
it's
meant,
like,
or you meant if you're on the side, if you're on the sidewalk, but you didn't pass it over, you're still in the public. Somewhere you pass over the public domain. You only do it Shabbos. It doesn't mean necessarily the rules of Shabbos.
right, yeah.
No, it's, because it's a public passageway. If you go over it, then you lose the bracha. Yeah, but what are you discussing? You're standing on the sidewalk?
Yeah.
But, so you didn't pass it through, it's still there. You have to pass through it to lose the bracha. You're still inside of it.
Walk the street.
No, because you're in that place. It's only when you pass over it, but not when you're in it. Yeah, someone else had a question? No? Okay. Let's talk a little bit about lights that's a little very different. Light see. But what's different about a light see? Lights is different that if you have, there's a difference between how much you ate. If you ate it concise or not. So we're going to be discussing now how light see, but you already ate it concise. To make it to simplify, you start with something simple, then you get to things that are more complicated. More detailed, not complicated. Nothing is complicated. Hamaitzi, and you ate it kazayis already. You had already kazayis and mezayis. A kazayis of hamaitzi. Not mezayis, not like. Now, when you leave your place to another room, or to another building, it doesn't make a difference if it's another room or another building. You do not have to say any bracha. It doesn't make a difference if you had intention or not. Now, we're not yet discussing, are you allowed to do it? There's another clause over here. Is that proper? But might see because it's not so simple whether you're allowed to do it. So we're not discussing now that you're allowed to do it. Now I'm telling you that if you did it, do I say no bracha? That's all we're discussing now. You had it k'dayis and mitzvah, and you went to another room, and you want to continue eating there. You want to come back to your original room. You went outside. You want to come back. You went to a different building. Do I have to say no bracha mitzvah? The answer is no. Are you allowed to do such a thing? Not necessarily. No. You're not allowed to leave your place. Because you're connected to your place, you're supposed to bench when you eat. You're allowed to leave your place before you bench. Therefore, you're not allowed to leave. Unless you had intention to, when you said I'm lazy, you had intention that you're going to continue eating in another place. So when you said I'm lazy, you had intention, I'm going to continue eating in another place. Then you already ate a kazais, then you're allowed to pick yourself up after you eat kazais and go to another place. It doesn't make a difference if it's another room, another building, it doesn't matter. Okay? The bottom line is, if you had a kazais for a and you had intention that you want to continue eating in another place, then you're allowed to leave to another place. Now, are you allowed to leave and come back? No, that's different. That's more of a problem. That's not so simple. So when I'm saying you're allowed to do it, I'm talking about if you have intention, it's okay to leave and because I say I'm leaving and eat somewhere else. I'm not saying intention allows you to leave and come back. that means, you know what, I have intention when I say I might see. That in the middle of the meal, I have to go over to my friend's house, having a party there, there should be some event going, I'm not gonna eat there. They're having some event over there, I have intention when I say I might see, I'm gonna go there, go to the event and come back. But not to eat, just to, no, we're not allowed. We don't allow you. Intention doesn't help. There's a different problem over there. But I'm not concerned, you're leaving your place and it's a mitzvah. You might forget the bench. You don't allow you to leave your place, you might forget the bench. But sometimes it's allowed, if it's a case of, it's a mitzvah they're gonna lose out, let's say for the men, have an opportunity to down with a minion, they're gonna lose a minion if you don't go now. That's a different story. But in a regular situation, I had intention, when I'm at a mitzvah, I'm gonna leave and come back. No, it doesn't help. Now I'll leave the place. You had intention that you're going to continue the meal somewhere else. We're not concerned about you forgetting to bench because you're going to finish the meal there and bench there. So that's fine. But you had intention when you said, I'm going to finish eating the meal somewhere else. Means you're going to go there, have a mitzvah there, and bench there. There's no concern you're going to forget the bench because you're going to eat there. People bench after they finish eating. But if you leave in the middle of the meal to go somewhere, you're not planning to eat there, you just whatever, sometimes you're going to come back. You're not planning to eat there, right? You're going to come back. Then you won't bench. If you don't allow you to leave in the middle of the meal to go somewhere else. Now, if it's just for a short amount of time, like, you know, the doorbell rings, the man comes and you walk outside, that's okay. It's all about you're going somewhere, there's something going on, and then you're coming back in the middle of the meal. No, you can't do that. Any questions?
When you have in mind that it's both that you want something to be in a different place, you have the specific place in mind, or just like
You can have general kavanah. You could. If you kavanah is general, that you know, afterwards I'm going somewhere. I'm not sure what's going to be now. One of these places I'm going. You have that in mind. That's fine. There are those that say that even that, having in mind, you should only do it for the purpose of a mitzvah. Now, today doesn't say it clearly, but some claim that it's still the proper thing. I don't know the whole, or different things. Now, if it ever comes up, then it's okay. But if you have it in mind, until eating in a different place. Saying some say it's only for a mitzvah, but it's not. There's some mitzvah involved, not just random. I want to continue eating the meal somewhere else. But now, today it doesn't. Now, today it seems that it's fine. It says if you have it in mind, you go. You can continue somewhere else. It's fine. Okay. Any questions? Okay, so we'll continue. Unless you have a specific question on what we discussed, next week we're going to continue about. We discussed on see if it's kazayas. You have to discuss on in Western kazayas. You have to discuss on the michya, on the AIDS, on the geffen. Okay. Good job, everyone.